I'm Dr. Fred Ogola. I'm a professor of strategy and decision making at Strathmore Business School. This week, because we have climate conference taking place in Egypt, it is good to highlight some of the important strategies that Africa could have taken so that they could be able to get something out of it. Because the previous meeting, which was about conference for climate change, Africa got nothing. And what I tell before is that whatever you'll get, you get it before the conference begins. Just like in strategy, you win before the war begins. You get what you get before it begins. So what is the preparation Africa has taken to go to this conference? And listening to all Africa heads of state, because I was watching their speeches as they were taking their flights from different countries. I watched the one for President William Ruto. I watched the one of Kagame. I watched most of the heads of state giving speeches as they were taking their flights to Egypt. What I saw was that they were full of painting pictures of Africa which is suffering simply because of climate change. They were also giving emotive stories. Like someone says, northern Kenya, people are facing famine. People are saying land is disappearing. Camels are dying. Those are not the most important assets you need to carry when you are going for climate change. Because you know what? Testimonials, emotional stories, and anecdotes are not going to make you get anything out of this climate change, because I'm telling you what, negotiations will be based on data. Negotiation will be based on data. They tell you, in God we trust, the rest bring data, bring evidence. So let me tell you what will be the approach for emerging economies and Asia, the Asian tigers, Europe, and then America. That will tell you how this will go. First and foremost, Asia and Europe will come with data. And they'll tell you, if we reduce our carbon emission by 20%, we should lose 35% of our GDP. Once we lose 35% of our GDP, we shall cut foreign aid to Africa. Then Africans will be like, oh, so what will you do if you cut foreign aid, because we still depend on that foreign aid? Then Africa will be told, okay, just relax, we shall see this. And then what happened? Allow us to continue polluting, because even the Western nations grew by pollution. Let us also just pollute. Even you just pollute and grow, because to grow using green economy is expensive. I think that's the conclusion for these countries. But that conclusion is for short term, not long term. As an economist, I know that long-term solutions to this climate change will be more sustainable, will make the country much better, and the nation and the global economy growing at a sustainable rate. Now, US will come, and the North America will come, Canada. They'll also come and use what is called evidence, and they'll use evidence to falsify the data from Asia and Europe. So after Europe and Asia has told you the impact of lowering their carbon emission on the GDP using numbers, Americans will come and falsify that data and the source of it and say this data is wrong, and will tell you what are the let's say the inabilities, or if you like the illegalities, or if you like the inadequacies of this data. And with that data being thrown out the window, there will be no discussion, and the next thing will be, okay guys, let's wait for time and have the next date for the next conference, upon which we shall also look for how we can use the right data to make that decisions. And then that's how the conference will end. The last conference ended that way. It will end this way. Then Africans will be given some money in foreign aid, some small talk here. They'll be given some money to feed the poor who are sick. There's some money to help the cows and the camels. Will come back home with nothing, but with pictures taken, conference souvenir, and that will be now what will define this climate change. I'm not a pessimist, but I'm a very optimistic person who also apply a pessimist approach to solve problems, which means that in as much as I'm optimistic that there's a solution out there, I'm pessimistic with the approach taken to solve this optimistic glaring picture that climate change can be solved and the global climate challenges can be addressed, and we can grow our country and globe sustainably so that the future generations can also see this beautiful planet without us depleting it too much. Nevertheless, pessimism sometimes is smarter than optimism, because optimists sometimes just believe things will go on well without having to do something. So Africans have gone to global climate change, a conference, with hope, but without a strategy. And hope is not a strategy, and therefore they'll come back with nothing. Mark my words. It ends on the 18th of this month. Africa will come back with nothing apart from some small money, some small talk, pictures with souvenir, people saying I took picture with the head of state from this country, and that's the end of it. I know Boston Consulting Group is heading the conference negotiations, is a good company. But just like they have failed to sort out some issues like KQ issues and the rest, I'm not looking forward to a very great thing because Africans have no data. Had they had data to challenge Boston Consulting Group with that data, they could have fruited something. But without data, nothing will happen. Thank you very much.